What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Khabib breaks silence on bad news. Recent news indicated that former lightweight kingpin Khabib Nurmagomedov was dealing with some tax problems in Russia. Allegedly, the Eagle owed the federal tax services in Russia the equivalent of $3.3 million, leading to the country freezing Nurmagomedov's assets. This reportedly included accounts tied to his Eagle FC promotion, a charity, and several other companies all owned by the Hall of Famer. At the time of the report, it was indicated that Russian authorities believed Nurmagomedov had used the tax money to pay for startup companies and hotels in both Turkey and the United Arab Emirates. This led to quite a bit of speculation among the MMA community that Nurmagomedov could potentially be returning to the octagon for one more payday. However, according to a report from TASS, the former champ is refuting the claims and denying any wrongdoing. A statement issued in the wake of the allegations reads, quote, "The information about tax debt is inaccurate. Khabib continues to engage in business projects and develop them. So far, no further reports have emerged regarding the allegations against Nurmagomedov. However, given that Daniel Cormier once claimed that the Eagle turned down $40 million to return to the octagon, it sounds as though the latest situation isn't expected to bring him out of retirement." Next up, let's take a look at Sean O'Malley reacts to Colby Covington interview. While former interim welterweight champion Colby Covington frequently takes jabs at his peers, he recently had nothing but praise for Sugar Sean O'Malley. While speaking in an interview, Covington dubbed O'Malley as an all-time great, indicating that he has loads of respect for the bantamweight champion. The comments came as a surprise to many fans, given that Covington often has unflattering nicknames for his peers and his rivals. However, as the former interim champ indicated, he likes O'Malley's style and the fact that he creates business for the UFC. On a recent episode of the Timbo Sugar Show, O'Malley reacted to the compliments.
You know who gave me some praise I wasn't expecting? Well, did pretty cool. Colby Covington. People are tagging me in that.
Yeah. Well, he's cool. Smart.
Yeah. But it's just like, he almost broke character in the sense, like, people were like, I was reading comments like, that's the last person I expected him to respect.
Yeah.
It was just funny. But I mean, he's like, you can't deny cheddar.
I mean, serious.
And not even that, but skill set. Like,
With O'Malley and Covington both looking to return to action before the end of the year, the UFC could look to capitalize on the situation and book the pair on the same card, with O'Malley defending his bantamweight title as the main event, and Covington looking to return to the win column in the co-main event. Next up, let's take a look at Daniel Cormier fires back at Jon Jones. Hall of Famer Daniel Cormier recently found himself in the crosshairs of heavyweight champion Jon Jones. Over a series of tweets, Jones recently discussed the heavyweight title picture, dismissing Tom Aspinall while doubling down on his desire to fight Stipe Miocic, and even opening the door to a potential fight with Alex Pereira down the line. At one point, Jones compared Aspinall's recent tenure as interim heavyweight champion to Daniel Cormier's light heavyweight run when he was forced to the sidelines. During a recent video for his YouTube channel, Cormier fired back.
That's not a real indication of what was going on. With me, it was him getting caught doing things he's not supposed to and then getting stripped and taken out of the competition. It's not the same. He was incapable of competing when I was the champion due to illegal substances found inside of his body. That's just the truth.
When he gets his academics in order, he can come back to the classroom.
If he decided today, I'm going to go and I'm going to fight, that would be his decision. Him and I were fighting, and he kept getting in trouble. He could not go, I'm back in the gym and I'm ready to fight. It was illegal. So it's time to stop lumping everything together, but his sleight of hand is what Jon is very good at.
Jones has yet to respond to Cormier's recent video. However, given how active he's been on social media recently, that could change in the coming days. Next up, let's take a look at UFC Fight updates. Heading into this weekend's UFC Fight Night Barboza vs. Murphy card at the Apex, let's take a look at today's UFC Fight updates, starting with a change to the upcoming UFC Vegas 92 card this weekend after Antonio Trocoli was forced out of a scheduled fight. Now, in his absence, Umar Sy will fight Tuco Tokos in a bout that will see Sy look to extend his unbeaten professional record in his UFC debut, while on the flip side, Tokos will be looking to build on a 3-fight win streak in what will also be his UFC debut as well. Shifting gears and looking ahead at the rest of the summer, Two new fights have been added to the UFC Vegas 94 card on July 20th, with Amanda Lemos and Virna Jandiroba set to throw down in a strawweight bout, and Tracy Cortez set to throw down with Miranda Maverick at 125 pounds. The first fight will see Lemos look to build on a February win over Mackenzie Dern, while on the flip side, Jandiroba will be looking to build on a 3-fight win streak that saw her kick off her 2024 campaign for a title shot with a victory over Lupita Godinez. In the case of the Cortez-Maverick fight, Cortez will be looking to build on an impressive win streak that saw her return to action in September and pick up a big victory over Jasmine Jasadavicius. While on the flip side, Maverick will be looking to build on a 2-fight win streak of her own that recently saw her defeat Andrea Lee back in February. Last but certainly not least in the way of UFC fight updates, a bout between Meatball Molly McCann and Bruna Brazil has been announced for UFC 304 on July 27th. McCann had recently announced that she had signed a contract to fight on the card. However, she didn't share any details regarding who her opponent would be. Now, with the fight confirmed, McCann will be looking to build on a 2-fight win streak, while on the flip side, Brazil will be looking to bounce back from a decision loss to Loma Lookboonmee back in February. Now, let's take a look at Aljamain Sterling sends a warning to Tim Welch. After a recent back and forth on social media, former bantamweight champion Aljamain Sterling made it clear that if he and Sean O'Malley's coach Tim Welch come face to face, things may get ugly. In a video for his YouTube channel, Sterling fired back at Welch following a verbal sparring session on social media that started with Welch calling out Merab Dvalishvili for having a big nose.
So I'm not trying to be malicious or anything like that. I'm not trying to attack Tim Welch or anything like that. I actually like those guys. At the end of the day, you say something, you got to answer for those words. You know what I mean? So if Welch wants to keep talking like that and then we see him and it turns to something else, I have no idea what might happen. But if it turns to something else, hey, you were part of this the whole time. That it is what it is at that point. You know what I mean? So with respect to him and his camp, I don't think they meant for it to go that way, but I do have to point out that's why I had to respond the way that I did to kind of let them know, like, hey man, you guys are crossing a threshold.
The MMA community was quick to react, with one fan writing, "Sean is always with Tim, so you'll just get slept unconscious again." Another added, "Love Aljo, but this is corny. Even if Welch is a former fighter, no one wants to hear Aljo talk about beating up a non-fighter." One fan cracked a joke at the former champ's expense, writing, "Sorry Aljo, there's no decisions in a street fight." Another member of the MMA community joked, "Does Aljo legitimately think Tim or anyone in the fight game would be scared of him or his crew?" While no date has been confirmed quite yet, there's been plenty of speculation that O'Malley and Dvalishvili will throw down before the end of the year, possibly in September at the Noche UFC card at the Sphere. With Sterling and Welch both expected to be in attendance, it'll be interesting to see if anything comes of the situation. Next, let's take a look at Conor McGregor posts a questionable video. Ahead of his return to the octagon at the end of June, former champ Conor McGregor has raised some eyebrows after an interesting video shared on social media. After previously indicating 3 weeks ago that he was cutting himself off from alcohol ahead of his fight with Michael Chandler, McGregor posted a video on his Instagram story, walking through a field barefoot and talking about a practice known as grounding. After doing so, McGregor then flipped the camera around and showed himself hugging a tree, indicating that he's been doing so lately and it feels good. Many fans were quick to wonder whether or not any other substances potentially contributed to McGregor's video, while others joked that he may simply have brought movement specialist Ido Portal back into his camp to help him get into a zen-like state once more, like in the early days of his rise through the UFC. McGregor did notably wish Portal a happy birthday on Instagram 1 week ago, which at the time raised plenty of questions around the MMA community regarding the possibility of the two working together again for McGregor's return. Now, let's shift gears and take a look at Jorge Masvidal reveals the truth on Fight. News recently surfaced indicating that the highly anticipated BMF rematch between Jorge Masvidal and Nate Diaz had been moved from June 1st to July 6th. According to widespread reports at the time, including one from longtime MMA insider Ariel Helwani, the bout was moved in order to ensure that it wasn't competing with the UFC 302 card for pay-per-view buys. Given that the card will be headlined by a lightweight bout between Islam Makhachev and Dustin Poirier, the decision to move the bout to the 6th of July seemed to make sense. According to Masvidal, however, he had been trying to change the date from the beginning so as to avoid a scheduling conflict with the UFC. However, as he explained during a recent ESPN interview, Diaz wasn't having it.
Nate's a f***ing idiot. He was adamant about staying on that date because he's not a UFC employee anymore, and I don't have to do nothing for the UFC and this and that and that and this. But it just doesn't make sense, especially when I know Nate thinks he's the boxer now because he boxed the Jake Paul guy, but he's not a boxer and he doesn't have a boxing fan base. The fan base that he has is from MMA, from UFC. So why go up against our own fan base? Me as a promoter, I'm thinking I don't even want to do it. You know, I know a lot of fight fans will buy both events or watch both events, but in my opinion, in my honest opinion, why even do it?
With the new date, the expectation is that fight fans will be able to tune in over the holiday weekend, given that the UFC isn't hosting a 4th of July pay-per-view card and will instead be hosting International Fight Week from June 24th through June 30th, with the McGregor-Chandler card headlining. Sean O'Malley and Ryan Garcia go back and forth after Sean FaceTimed Ryan while live streaming. Sugar claims he would destroy Ryan in an MMA fight, and the two agree to a boxing match. Here's what Sean had to say.
Hey Ryan, what's the deal here? Congratulations on beating Devin Haney. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I could beat Devin though. What do you think about that?
Real though, I whip your ass in MMA and boxing.
If you want to be real though, in reality, realistically, I could kill you in minutes. No, literally I could kill you though. See, you're all talk though, that's all talk, that's not real. Real life, I would kill you. And you know that, and that's gotta make you feel like a... No, but I would box you because that's actually competitive. A real fight, not competitive, not even a little bit.
Okay, we set it up.
What weight would you want to box at though?
No, I want an MMA fight.
What weight you want an MMA fight at?
Okay.
I fight at 35, but I could fight at, we could do whatever you want. That shit's easy. 45 works. Because I'll beat you in MMA easy and then we can box.
Okay.
Let's make it happen. I'm going to go out there, do what I need to do against Marab, put his lights out.
I know you're going to win. I know you're going to win.
Yeah, Marab sucks. That's easy.
I think you're going to knock him out.
Alright, well, I'll f you up later, G. Peace out.
The MMA community goes off on Daniel Cormier after he responded to a tweet from Walking Buckley. Walking is upset with the way they handled his Conor McGregor call-out and tweeted saying, "Let this be known, Daniel Cormier, Chael Sonnen, and Michael Bisping, your mamas raised some hoes. Y'all really trying to twist up my words knowing damn well what I said in that cage, but it's okay, we can all have some fun." DC responded to the tweet saying, "Shut up, maybe listen, you had a dumb call-out. You're getting talked about by 3 of the biggest voices in the game. Maybe listen, it was the worst call-out in history. Don't let winning a few fights at 170 pounds get you too excited, bro. Don't mention Audrey." Here's what the MMA community had to say. Very unprofessional behavior from Cormier. He should be punished by the UFC. Not really, it sounds like DC is just butthurt to be honest. The Buckley call out is goofy cause it won't happen, but it made headlines so it's not actually that bad. It's no different than you calling out Brock Lesnar. Let him try and get the money fight if that's what he wants. What about when you called out Brock Lesnar knowing it wasn't gonna happen? This is the guy that called out Brock Lesnar criticizing someone else's call out. No f***ing way you're that dumb. Hi DC, why not kindly let the MF be? Is that the most ridiculous call out you've ever seen? Everyone wants that red panty night, don't blame him. McFraud Kinney called out Chimaev. RDA still dreams of the Conor fight. So does Charles Oliveira and low-key Kamaru Usman.
Sean Strickland versus Paulo Costa is in jeopardy after Strickland confirmed that Paulo has yet to sign the contract for the fight. Here's what Sean Strickland had to say.
Well, goddamn, Costa. I've heard you have yet to sign that contract. And I'll tell you what, man, I didn't believe it. I did not think you'd be acting like a coward. I thought you would man up, sack up, but instead you're acting like you got ovaries. So I went on the Googler. I did the right thing, give you the benefit of the doubt. I went on the Googler, and I noticed something, man. After you fought Izzy, you went downhill. You went off that sleeping, my man. I don't know what happened in that little pea brain you have. Well, do we need to get someone for you to talk to, my man? Do we need to sit you down, have you talk about your feelings? I think therapy's for weak men. But let me tell you something, dude. You're being a weak man. If you can't sack up and make this happen, we'll get someone for you to talk to. Don't disappoint me. Don't disappoint the fans. Let me make you believe.
Top comments. Every time I see Burns, I can't help but to picture lesbian Burns in my head. As Brazilian, I say Oliveira didn't mean to be mean in this rank. He just threw numbers, he wasn't analyzing. Take it as a joke please, haha, don't have on him. Buckley is a cornball. He should have called out Burns in the octagon. That's how you hype up fights. McGregor's last fight on his contract needs to be against Nate Diaz.